This DVMax practice training session will give a brief overview of the word processor as attached to the patient's record. If we search for a patient using the search dialog, and again we'll search for Mickey, whose last name is Bass, this then takes us to Mickey's main screen. Notice at the top, among the tabs, is a selection for word processing. Clicking on the word processing tab takes us to a word processing dialog box. Notice that there can be case documents. In this particular case, a document that was stored as a case document, meaning it only applies and is only attached to this one particular patient's record, and that was stored on 4/10 of 2007. Below that are listed protected documents. Protected documents are those which may be used over and over and over again as a template for any patient that might be in your database. That might represent euthanasia forms, discharge instruction forms, informational sheets such as this one on Demodex, certificate of death forms. You might use it as an anesthesia log, against medical advice forms. Any of these become templates that can be used over and over again for virtually any patient. Outside of protected documents exists label documents. These are documents that are set up in the word processor but are used to print custom labels. This is something we will address later on in another training session. Then there are what are called other documents. Other documents are simply documents used in the word processor that are not otherwise protected as protected documents, meaning it's possible to alter, edit, change, etc. any of these documents and store them easily. The protected documents are indeed protected to try to keep the user from accidentally or inadvertently changing or altering the template. If indeed we decide we want to open up one of these documents, let's choose this one, the patient medical record, and we tell DVMax to open that particular document, DVMax now displays a document that shows all of the medical record information that was called up by that particular template. In this case, it brought in the diagnosis of this animal as well as the signalment, and here's medical record history that was brought in directly to this document. Let's suppose I wish to save this document in its exact form that it's in right now with this patient's record. I would choose to Save As under the File menu of the word processor. Upon the Save dialog box coming up, I would choose to save this as a case document. And just again to clarify, a case document is a document that has been stored specifically with this one animal, not with all animals, but just with this one. So this contains information that is only applicable to this particular animal. Notice DVMax has also highlighted the name of this document so that I might consider changing the name to be more specific. Perhaps this is an item that I'm going to fax to an outside source. And notice it's labeled as a case document. It's being stored with just this one animal's record. If I now tell DVMax to save this item as a case document with this particular name, DVMax will do just that. The next time I choose to open the word processor, notice there is a new item which was saved on this particular date with this particular name. This will only show up when I access this one animal's record. It will not show up in other animals' records. If we were to now search for another patient, for instance, if we looked for Lucky Gracia and went to that particular animal's word processor, notice there are no case documents currently listed for this patient. We did have case documents listed with Mickey, but remember, case documents are only going to be listed with that one animal's record. Protected documents, on the other hand, become templates for use for any patient, and therefore this represents the same list of protected documents that we saw when we were reviewing Mickey. The same thing is true for documents other than protected documents. For instance, label documents and other documents. Those will be utilized for virtually any animal whose record we will open. The only thing that will be different between these animals will be any documents that have been saved as case document records. If we do that again by opening up a document and then deciding to save this item, save as a case document, We now have created a case document for this particular animal, and indeed there is the grooming instruction we just now saved, stored only with this one animal's record. The protected documents remain the same and remain for use as templates for virtually any patient.